Hello, my lovely audience. Once again, it's a privilege to discuss Bible with you guys. And this time, um, some time ago, I was on my bed and I had a trance, or I fell into a trance, and the name Zimri kept ringing in my mind. And I was hearing the name Zimri, Zimri, Zimri. Go check that name out, Zimri, Zimri, Zimri. Go check that name out. For his kingdom is synonymous to the kingdom of the devil. Okay, he's a replica of the devil. And if you want to know the example of how Satan's kingdom is like, go and then research on Zimri. In fact, to tell you the truth, I've never come across the word Zimri ever in my life. Okay, I didn't even know the name Zimri even existed in the Bible. Okay, I never knew. I've never heard that word before. I've never come across it before. So I decided to first go to Google to check the name Zimri. So I went to the internet and then I type in Zimri. Zimri in the Bible. So I also went to Zimri in the Bible. This was what I had. I first had some Zimri, but this is what I think the trance was telling me to go and research on Zimri. Because it mentions Satan, that his kingdom is replica or typical of how Satan's kingdom is like. So I came and I checked. So Zimri, and you find it in 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 8 to 20. So he said Zimri was the fifth king of Israel, and his reign lasted only 7 days. Zimri was a servant and a commander of King Elah, but he conspired to kill his superior and take the throne. Zimri died for his sins, which included doing evil in the eyes of the Lord, following the ways of Jeroboam, and committing the same sin Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit. Okay, so when I saw, I was amazed, because the word that came to me in the trance told me that Zimri's kingdom is a replica of how Satan's kingdom will be like, or it's an example of how Satan's kingdom will be like. Okay, so as I checked and I saw this, I was amazed. In fact, as I told you, I've never come across the word Zimri before. I never saw it before. So as I checked, so I decided to go to the Bible and then read more about Zimri. So it's 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 8 to 10. You find his story there. 1 Kings chapter 15, verse 8 to 10. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 8 to 10. Okay. So, 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 8 to 10. So it says, in the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, Elah, son of Baasha, became king of Israel, and he reigned in Tirzah 2 years. Okay, then the verse 9 talks about Zimri. It says, Zimri, one of his officials, who had command of half his chariot, plotted against him. Elah was in Tirzah at the time, getting drunk in the home of Asa, the palace administrator at Tirzah. Zimri came in, struck him down, and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah. Then he succeeded him as king. So when you continue, it says, as soon as he began to reign and was seated on the throne, he killed off Baasha's whole family. He did not spare a single male, whether relative or friend. So you see how ruthless Zimri was. He was an official to the king. He was an official to the king, Elah. And then he conspired against him, he plotted against him, and then he did away with him. He killed him, and then he usurped the throne, or he took charge of the throne to become king of Israel. So he was a ruthless man. He was a disloyal servant of the king. And it's typical of Satan. Okay, we also know in the Bible, Satan was also, in a sense, an official of God. And then he also decided to usurp God's throne. He also decided to become like God, take God off, and then take the throne. So it's similar to what Zimri did. Satan's rebellion is similar to what Zimri was also a rebellious guy, in the sense that he was serving under the king, and then he plotted evil against the king by doing away with the king and then taking the throne. It's a typical of Satan. Typical of Satan. Okay, so now let's go on. The verse 15 to 20. Let's read further about Zimri. Verse 15 to 20. Now Zimri, king of Israel, as he took the throne and became king. Let's see how long he ruled, and let's see what happened to him. So in the verse 15, Zimri, king of Israel, I say, in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, Zimri reigned in Tirzah 7 days. The army was encamped near Gibeton, a Philistine town. When the Israelites in the camp heard that Zimri had plotted against the king and murdered him, they proclaimed Omri, the commander of the army, king over Israel, that very day, there in the camp. Then Omri and all the Israelites with him withdrew from Gibeton and laid siege to Tirzah. When Zimri saw that the city was taken, he went into the citadel of the royal palace and set the place on fire around him. So he died because of the sins he had committed, doing evil in the eyes of the Lord and following the ways of Jeroboam, and committing the same sin Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit. As for the other events of Zimri's reign and the rebellion he carried out, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? So you see how Zimri ended. Okay, after he usurped the throne, after his rebellious act against the king by doing away with the king and taking the throne, he reigned in Tirzah. Okay, but when the king's men, the other officials of the king who were at that time in the battlefront, heard that Zimri had killed King Ela and had taken the throne, they withdrew from where they were fighting and then they came to encamp around where Zimri was ruling. Okay, and then they laid siege. They laid siege to Tirzah. And when Zimri realized that the army has risen up against him, he committed suicide. Okay, he's just like Adolf Hitler. We were told that Adolf Hitler also, when he was defeated, he committed suicide by burning himself up. It's the same with Zimri. He burned himself up with fire. Okay, so like I saw in the trance, he told me that go and research about Zimri, for his reign, his character, his behavior, and his kingdom is similar to that of Satan. Okay, we all know Satan was also, as I said earlier on, he was also an attendant in the court of God or in the heavenly court, and then he had evil in his mind, in his heart. Evil entered into his heart and mind, and he tried to usurp the throne of God. Okay, he gathered or led a group of rebellious angels trying to take the throne of God. But we know what happened. In the end, he was cast down on the earth, and then even in the end, we are told that he will also be destroyed with fire. It's similar to Zimri. Okay, so when you continue to read Revelation chapter 13, it talks about a time that Satan will have complete dominion and rulership over the earth, and that all nations, national group are going to serve him. Okay, but his kingdom will be short, or his rulership will be short like that of Zimri. Zimri ruled for only 7 days. He ruled for only 7 days. Okay, he's a king whose rule was shortest in Israel's history. Okay, the history of the kings. Zimri was the one whose rule was the shortest. Okay, he just reigned for 7 days and he was destroyed with fire. He was destroyed with fire. Okay, so it's similar with Satan. When you read about Satan, at the time that you have complete dominion over the entire earth in Revelation chapter 13, when he introduced the 666, the false prophet and the beast. Okay, the Bible says he's going to rule for a short time, after which his kingdom will be done away with, or the kingdom will be taken away from him, and all his men and all those who supported him will be killed, and they will all be destroyed with fire, just as Zimri was also destroyed with fire. Okay, so like I said, no, God speaks to people. In fact, when you commit yourself to God, you commit your whole being to God to do His will. Then sometimes He shows you things. Okay, that's why in the Bible it says the Holy Spirit sometimes teaches the children of God about certain Bible truth. So, like I said, now I was just there, and then it came to me. Zimri, research about Zimri. It's not like I didn't see that word anywhere. It's not like I've seen that word somewhere, or I've chanced upon it anywhere, or I've heard. No. I've not seen that word. I was just there, and then Zimri. I never even knew Zimri was a word that existed until I did research on it and realized that, he was once a king of Israel, and then his reign was the shortest among the history of the kings of Israel. And then he was rebellious. He rebelled. He tried to usurp the throne of the king he was serving under by killing him and then taking the throne. But his reign was just short for 7 days, and then the other officials also gang up against him, and then he had to commit suicide by destroying himself with fire. Similar to Satan. Satan's reign is also short. He also tried to usurp the throne of God. He rules for a short time. Many Bible scholars say Satan's rule, the rule of the Antichrist, is just 7 years, and it's similar to that of Zimri. 7 days. After 7 days, he's destroyed and thrown into the lake of fire. Similar to that of Zimri, he is burned or destroyed with fire. So, this is the Bible discussion that I want to discuss. So, like I said, Holy Spirit continue to reveal things to us when you commit yourself completely to God. And of course, nobody needs to teach you anything, but Holy Spirit Himself in you will guide you to all truth. So Zimri is similar to Satan, or another word for Satan, as I heard and saw in the trance. Say Satan is Zimri. Satan is Zimri. That was when I was moved to go and research about him. So thank you very much for giving me listening here. So the next time we meet, we'll discuss a different Bible topic. Thank you so much.